Good afternoon, sir. I'll ask that you have your responses be verbal for the purpose of the record.
All right.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Could I trouble you to state your full name?
Jimmy Ray Rodgers.
All right, and I know that there's some issues sometimes with that last name spelling. Can you spell the last name?
Rodgers, Rodgers.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Rodgers, how would you characterize the extent to which you know my client, Mr. Mark Sievers?
I would say that I know Hamid Hunter better than I know Mark Sievers, which is to say that I don't know him at all.
Okay. And let's keep responses responsive to the questions asked, please. So, Mr. Rodgers, where are you from?
Paris, Missouri.
Okay. Have you lived in any other states?
Only while incarcerated.
You bring up an important point. Mr. Rodgers, have you ever been convicted of a felony in any state or the federal system?
Yes, I have.
How many felonies have you been convicted of?
3.
Okay. And have you ever been, besides what brings us here today, have you ever been incarcerated?
Yes, I have.
And since you were 18, how many times have you been incarcerated? Excluding this.
Because I caught a probation violation on this, I would say twice.
Okay. All right. And how old are you, Mr. Rodgers?
I am 35.
And when these matters went to trial around 2019, how old were you?
2019, I would have been 29 years old.
And now, I know that you'd indicated that you don't know my client particularly well. How do you know my client?
I met him at Curtis Wright's wedding, as well as at the wedding party of Curtis Wright.
Well, then let's talk about Mr. Curtis Wright, because I think he's the nexus here. How did you know how did you first meet Mr. Curtis Wright?
I was incarcerated with him in the inside of a county jail, which is also a federal hold facility in St. Genevieve, Missouri.
Okay. So you encountered him. Was he also an inmate there?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And I guess, was he a bunkmate? Was he a podmate? How did you come to meet him there?
I got to know him. We were living inside of an open pod, and I don't know, Florida's kind of different, but inside of Missouri, it's segregated more or less by race when you're incarcerated. He is one of the only other white guys inside the pod that I was in.
Okay. And I guess, was your association with him any personal benefit to you?
Yes, it was, because he's got a background in martial arts, and I know him having 19-inch arms, being a 200-plus pound guy, it's a good guy to have on your side, at least in a county jail setting.
Can you recall, what's his stature? About how tall is he?
5'10".
Okay. How tall are you?
5'10".
Okay. Now, before we get more into you and Mr. Wainwright, let's talk about you before you were incarcerated. So you grew up in Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about your family, mom and dad.
My mom, she passed away when I was 9 years old of suicide. My father passed away whenever I was 17 of heart failure.
Okay. So, I guess from age 17, were you on your own? Did you have a guardian?
I was on my own. My brother was never actually appointed as my legal guardian, so I was just living at a house on my own at 17 years old.
Okay. So, well, let me ask about that. You mentioned a brother. Do you have any other siblings?
I got 2 half-sisters.
Okay. And are they in your life or in your family at all?
Lisa is, Jennifer not. I don't actually know my sister Jennifer. I've only met her a handful of times.
Okay. So, I guess, how old were you when you first met Mr. Wainwright?
I was 20 years old. I was 20 years old.
Okay, so you'd been on your own for a little bit, got in trouble, get incarcerated. You meet Mr. Wainwright at that point.
Yes, sir.
How close were you with your brother once he came back to be with you after your parents died?
We, I know, had been separated for many years, but me and my brother became pretty close.
Okay. And was he around like when your father passed away?
No, he was in Iraq.
Okay. Was he in the military?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I guess, do you have much family at all before you go into jail and are incarcerated and meet Curtis Wainwright?
I have a bunch of people I'm related to, but not necessarily what I would say family.
Okay, not a nurturing support system.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I guess, how long were you and Mr. Wainwright incarcerated together?
Around a year.
Okay. And at the conclusion of that year, how did you part ways?
I went to prison, and then shortly thereafter, he went to state prison.
Okay.
And I had a pen pal that he had introduced me to, which was his cousin. So I continued writing her, and throughout the course of me writing his cousin, me and him stayed in contact.
Okay. And is that contact like through mail through the jail? Is he coming to visit you? How would you characterize this contact?
It was through the mail. Once he got out of prison, he would actually email me while I was in prison. His cousin, who was my pen pal, her and her mother, which is Wayne's aunt, actually came over to the state of Kansas to visit me while I was incarcerated. I stayed in contact actually with Wayne's mom, which is Jane Wright. She wrote me for several years actually while I was incarcerated.
Okay. It sounds like, to the extent that you didn't have much of a family before you went in, after having met Curtis and coming out, you kind of had a substitute family sprout up around you. Would you agree with that, or am I going too far?
Going too far.
Okay, how would you characterize it?
I was friends with Curtis Wainwright, got to become friends of his family, as well as how I became friends with his wife's family, Angela Wright.
Okay. So, do you two, once you're released from prison and your sentence is done, or at least the incarcerative portion of the sentence is done, do you maintain any contact? Is he out of your life entirely? How do things progress from there?
Well, whenever I was leaving federal prison, I was actually supposed to be my approved home plan was actually Curtis Wainwright's address at his wife's, where he was, the woman he was married to before Angela Wright was my approved home plan. Because I was supposed to actually live with his cousin Christina, but because of where she was living at, I could not move in with her because I wouldn't be on the lease. So we was going to use Wayne's address as my release plan while I actually stay at her house.
Okay. So, it sounds like he's kind of like enmeshing you within his family by making all of these different people available to you.
Objection, counsel's testified.
Sustained.
Okay. Did Mr. Wainwright incorporate you into his family or his, I guess, community? As
I
you were
got to
getting
know
closer
many
release?
people that he knew.
Okay. So, once you are released from prison, are you staying with Mr. Wainwright?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you staying on your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I guess while you were incarcerated, did you have any counseling or have access to any services for mental health?
Whenever I was at USP Leavenworth, they used to prescribe me Buspar.
Okay.
Say it again, please.
Buspar?
And would that be Buspar?
I don't know how to spell it.
Okay. Do you know the diagnosis for which you were given that medication?
PTSD.
Okay. How have you noticed your PTSD manifest to the extent that you have?
I have night sweats, night terrors.
Are there any things that are particular triggers for you?
Yes, lots of blood.
Okay. So, I guess, do you continue to receive any treatment or mental health supervision upon your release from prison?
My federal probation officer had me going to a place in Farmington, Missouri for counseling there.
Okay, like talk therapy?
Yes.
Okay. Any subsequent hospitalizations or medical interventions because of mental health?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So once you're on your own subsequent to your release, are you employed? How do you make ends meet?
I actually met a girl whenever I was getting ready to be released, fell in love, moved to her hometown, got a job working for a company called JV Contracting, stands for Juliet and Vincent. Because I didn't have a credit score at the time, he rented me a place that he owned and was just taking my rent out of my paycheck while I was working for him.
And I'm going to interject real quick. Who is the he and the him in this instance?
Tyler Juliet,
Okay, so another individual person.
the guy who I worked for, my employer.
Okay. And I guess from there, do you ever come into Curtis's orbit again?
Yes, me and him
Let me ask real quick, did you ever leave his orbit at any point from your release to eventually, meeting up with him again?
Not really, because I moved 4 hours south of where I used to live. So the only person I even knew in the vicinity was Curtis Wainwright.
Okay. All right, so I guess you never left his orbit. How do you interact with him going forward? Because I imagine you don't need his protection anymore from other inmates, so there must be other bases for how you related.
We do a bunch of side jobs together, how I do commercial, residential, and industrial construction. Wayne collects a check for disability, so he does a bunch of cash jobs. Me not knowing the surrounding area or knowing the people, I just do work with him, installing flooring, painting houses, putting in windows, doors.
And is that the kind of work that you would also done through this JV contracting?
Yes, sir. When I'm doing residential, because there's a residential side and a commercial side.
Okay. And so, yes, was employment for you more or less steady up through 2015?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I guess, were you struggling to pay bills? Like how were you living financially?
I got all my bills super low, about 25–30% of my monthly income, actually.
Okay. Has to do with where you were living?
Yes, real estate's about location, location, location. I live in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. So, from that point, how in the world does Mark Sievers become involved in your life?
We just attended a wedding together.
Well, let's talk about that wedding. When was it roughly?
In May, beginning of May,
And help me out with the year.
2015.
Okay. So, who was getting married?
Curtis Wainwright.
To whom?
Angela, I don't know what her last name was at the time, actually. It's Angela right now, but
Angela, right now. Right now. Okay. And I guess prior to that, had you ever seen or met Mark?
no, I had not.
Okay. When do you first see or meet Mark in relation to the wedding festivities?
He was the last guy to show up to the wedding party. We were all waiting on him to show up. That way we could go to the bar. But with him being the best man, nobody wanted to go to the bar until he showed up.
Okay, so let me ask about that. Where are you waiting for his arrival?
We're all at Curtis Wainwright's house, just partying, drinking.
And this is pre-wedding festivities that everyone's participating in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you mentioned everyone was waiting for Mark. Can you explain that a little bit? Why were they waiting for him, and where were they going to go upon his arrival?
We were supposed to leave from Wayne's house to go to a bar. Angela Wright already had people there that were supposed to be meeting us. There were supposed to be more people that was going to be attending the wedding that was already at the bar. So essentially, this is the beginning party at the house, drink before you go to the bar. We were just waiting for him to show up.
Okay. Do you see him show up?
Yes, sir.
So you personally witnessed him arrive at that location?
No, I just witnessed him come into the house at that location.
So subsequent to his arrival, he walked into the home?
Yes.
Okay.
Saying this, I was in the home at the party when our Mark came into the door of the home where the party is taking place.
Thank you very much. I guess during this time, how big is this place where this party's going on?
It's a single wide trailer, and there's probably, I don't know, 12 to 15 people.
Okay, so I guess did you have, whether or not you were staring at him, did you have line of sight on where Curtis was during these festivities?
For the most part, we would go outside to smoke. So some people would go outside, but in and out. But otherwise, it's a small trailer.
Okay.
You essentially got a living room and a kitchen that's open, conjoined together. That's where everybody's at, unless you're outside smoking.
So when Mark arrives, does everyone immediately pile into cars? Is everyone milling about? Describe what happens.
Mark showed up within, I'd say, another 10 to 20 minutes. We all left to go to the bar.
Okay, within those 10 to 20 minutes, did you have an opportunity to see where Curtis was?
Yes,
Where was he?
normally talking to Mark Sievers.
Okay.
They were outside with us while me and Taylor Showmaker were smoking and other people that was around.
Did you ever, or can you recall a point in time where Mark and Curtis went off somewhere separate from everywhere else?
No, that did not happen.
Well, so let me ask you though, did you have eyes on either or both of the men at all times during those 10 minutes?
I can't say at all time, but I can tell you that it's a tiny trailer and I don't know, Wayne's getting married. It's essentially Wayne's party. Everybody's talking to him. Like he's the focal point of everybody's attention the entire time.
Okay. And I guess, to what extent are you aware of where Mark's at during those 10 to 20 minutes?
It's a party. I'm just, don't know how you want me to say this. We're all gathered around outside, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, sitting around on the porch. It's nice, it's cooler outside actually than it is inside, with the air conditioning being the way that it is, and it's hot. I don't know, so
Okay.
it's actually cool out.
Well, now, as you described it, it sounds like there's some people inside and some people outside.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the people who are inside, while you're outside smoking, were Mark and Curtis inside at the same time?
It was Angela Wright that was inside along with her friends putting on their makeup for us to go to the bar.
Okay. So, as best as you can recall, did you ever see Mark and Curtis go inside during that 10 to 20 minute window subsequent to Mark's arrival?
You mean our departure?
Subsequent to Mark's arrival at the party, where there's the 10 to 20 minutes.
I'm saying is, Mark showed up to a party that was already active.
Right.
As soon as he showed up, we were waiting on him to leave to go to the bar. Then we had to wait on the girls to do their makeup. We were all outside, and then we left to go,
Okay, so Mark arrives, wait for the ladies to finish getting ready.
And then
they
we leave.
finish, you leave. Okay.
yes, sir.
So this is the first time you meet Mark. What was your impression of him?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled.
Go ahead, sir.
I did not like him.
Okay.
He was that guy that likes to try to one-up you.
Okay. How do you mean?
My brief interactions that I had with him and the conversations I had, they're at the party as well as they're at the bar. Just anytime that somebody brought something up, he was the guy that wanted to try to be better than you. Give an example is I was talking with Angela Wright's friend who has a car restoration business. While we were speaking about vehicles, somebody brought up the fact I used to own a couple C4 Corvettes. He immediately jumped in, wanted to make a big deal of the fact that he had a C5 Corvette and his was new whenever he bought his and owned his. Whenever I showed my scars on my arms from laying down my Harley, he jumped in and wanted to point out that his Harley Davidson that he has now is newer than the one I used to have. Then told me that, asked me what I ride. When I told him I no longer own a bike, he told me then don't talk about motorcycles if you don't ride.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, at this point, everyone goes to the bar. I guess, did you interact with him besides what you've just described at the bar?
Not really. Tommy Martin, one of Wainwright's friends, somebody that I think, I don't know, has a pretty good character base, say. It's like, Tommy told me that he didn't like Mark. That was the general census from a few other people, so I just pretty much avoided him.
Okay. And I guess, how long is everyone out at that bar?
I don't know, 2 a.m. when it finally closes down.
Okay. So it closes down, where does everyone go? Where do you go to?
We all go back to Curtis Wayne Wright's house.
Okay, when you say we all go, who do you mean?
Tommy Martin, his wife Jennifer, me, Taylor, Angie, Wayne, Mark. Wayne's friend from another Alabama was there along with his wife. I don't know their names. I know he had an old Ford truck. So the guy from Alabama and his wife took Ernie's bedroom. Me and Taylor, we took Wayne's middle child's bedroom. I'm trying to think of her name. I don't know. Anyways, we took his daughter's bedroom, me and Taylor did, and Mark slept in the bedroom with Angie and Wayne. And Tommy Martin and his wife slept inside the living room.
Okay. Well, let me ask you about that, because if I recall, you described the interior of this place as essentially a living room, a kitchen, and then a room, but it sounds like there are multiple bedrooms within
There's
this.
3 bedrooms inside the house. You got a hall, it's a single wide trailer, so you have 2 bedrooms on one side of the house, a bedroom on the other side of the house, but the middle where the door where you walk into the home is just the living room and the kitchen open floor plan.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna go into a bedroom down that hallway.
Okay. Well, let me back up to make sure that I didn't miss anything, previously. So, as far as you can recall, and now I'm referring to before everyone left for the bar, did you ever see Curtis go into any one of those bedrooms, secreted away from anyone else?
No, the only time that Wayne ever vanished away from other people and everybody was looking for him, because again, he's the life of the party, is his friend that came from Alabama. Wayne kept disappearing to the bathroom with him and then coming back out, presumably high,
Why do you say that?
because Wayne likes to do methamphetamines,
Why do you say that?
because Wayne does methamphetamines and's been to prison for meth.
People say things about people all the time. Have you ever witnessed Wayne doing methamphetamines?
Absolutely, on numerous occasions.
Well, that explains it. Okay. Was there ever a time that you saw Mark, and again, I'm still talking about prior to everyone going to the bar, was there ever a time where you saw Mark go into any of these bedrooms on his own?
Only whenever we came back from the bar, whenever he went to the bedroom with Angie and Wayne to sleep for the night.
Okay. So, and did you and Taylor stay at the Wright's residence for the entirety of the night?
Yes, we spent the night there. All of us that spent the night were the people who set up the wedding inside the park the next morning.
Okay. So, where did you say you and Taylor were staying?
The bedroom at the very other end of the home.
Okay. If someone got up to leave in the middle of the night, it sounds like you probably wouldn't have been able to see them, or you otherwise would not have noticed them.
Only if I would have heard their car door open or close, because it's a single wide trailer. It's, I don't know, you can hear anything, kind of like a thin wall in an apartment.
Okay. So,
We're closest towards where the vehicles are parked.
during the evening, during your stay there, did you hear or otherwise notice anyone leaving?
No, I did not.
Okay. When you woke up, to your knowledge, or to the best of your recollection, was Mark still there?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so it sounds like you can state Mark did not leave at any point during the night.
Objection, Your Honor. Again, counsel's testifying.
Sustained.
Can you advise whether or not Mr. Sievers left at any point during the night?
To my knowledge, he did not leave. He was there in the morning whenever I got up.
Okay. So from the group slumber party in the trailer, where does everyone go from there?
We all go down to DeSoto, Missouri, to where the wedding is supposed to be held inside of a park.
Okay. At what time of day do you all get up to leave?
I don't know, it was early. I don't know exact hour, just we got up early inside of the morning. And then me and Taylor actually stopped by her apartment there inside of DeSoto to grab a couple things as we headed right down to the park, because the park's just a little ways away from her apartment.
Do you know if Mark, Mr. Sievers, went directly from Mr. Wright's residence to the park, or did he have any intervening stops to the, as far as you're aware?
Whenever we all made it down there to the park was all around about the exact same time. Everybody was down there. Whenever I showed up to the park, Mark Sievers was already at the park, and other people helping setting up chairs as well as putting things over the tables,
Let
like
me
cloths
ask
and
you
taping them
about
in
the
place.
setup. Were there any impediments to immediately beginning the setup for the wedding?
Yes, there was a bunch of soccer moms that were at I was about to call it a lean-to, I don't know what you would call it, the pavilion. There was a bunch of soccer moms that were over there sitting on the tables that we was wanting to set up for the wedding.
Okay.
We reserved it, but we reserved it apparently only for a short window, so they still had a soccer game going and all kinds of other crazy stuff going on down there when we first showed up.
Oh, so the pavilion, I guess the venue was reserved essentially for the duration of the wedding,
Yes,
not contemplating the setup time?
yes.
Okay. So, does everyone wait at the scene until the setup can begin, or do people mill around and leave?
We start setting up the chairs because we could set up what we have to be able to set up. We start putting the barbecue grill together, got everything going.
Okay, and you say we were setting up. My answer, you can presume, is, does that include Mark?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is there ever a point in time that you can recall where Mark departs the location once everyone has arrived?
No, sir.
Okay. And how about Mr. Wright? What's he doing while everyone is setting up?
He's helping set up as well.
Okay. And you mentioned something about getting the barbecue going, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I guess what was going to be barbecued?
There was supposed to be hot dogs. I believe there was hamburger. I don't know. It was just a little simple barbecue, nothing spectacular.
Okay. And I guess at what point did Mark and Curtis get into the van to go pick that meat up?
The meat was picked up by Wayne's friend that has the pickup truck. Wayne
Okay.
actually rode with that guy to go get the meat and then showed up there. He was Wayne's friend from Alabama with the truck.
Matt Holloway?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So Matt Holloway went to go get the meat together. Whenever we left Angela and Wayne's house, they went to go get the meat. They actually showed up later while we were setting up, but yeah.
When you say they, Wayne
And
Mr.
Matt Holloway.
Okay. So once Wayne arrives with the meat, you said that was kind of simultaneous with everyone else's arrival?
No, that was later than other people's arrival because it takes a good probably 25, 30 minutes to go to TK's store to actually go get the meat.
Okay. And
That's
Yes.
in Crystal City.
while Wayne and Matt are doing that, do you have eyes, or are you aware of where Mark is?
Mark's setting up chairs and other, I don't know, stuff for the wedding.
Okay. So can you recall a time prior to the commencement of wedding proceedings that Mark and Wayne left the location separately in a vehicle?
No, because we were crunched for time. So once we got finally the soccer moms to leave, that way we could set those tables up, it was time to start the wedding. Like, we were crunched for time. Because it's preserved only for that short period, apparently for the wedding, and then there's about to be more stuff taking place there at that park.
Okay. And I guess once Wayne is there and once Mark's there, are they ever off separately and alone for any period of time as you can recall?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, and what's the basis of that knowledge? Did you have eyes on Curtis 100% of the time, every minute of his wedding?
No,
Okay.
I'm not trying to keep track of everything that's going on. I'm setting up a wedding.
Okay.
Right.
So
We're
yes,
setting up chairs, I don't know,
this venue,
yes.
are there any buildings or rooms where one could go to have a private conversation?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So the wedding happens, you attend, everyone leaves. When next do you hear or see of Mark Sievers?
I don't talk to Mark after the wedding, ever, ever. We then later subsequently got arrested, and it's like I still don't talk to him. I don't know him.
But eventually he came back into your orbit through, I guess, how?
Well, through Wayne, because Angela Wright had asked me if I'd be willing to go with Wayne down to Florida to help Wayne drive to come down here, because Wayne was supposed to be doing some computer work as well as painting.
All right, so pause there and let me ask you about that. So between the wedding and when this trip, comes into play, how much time passes?
That's almost the entire month of May, almost the entire month of June, so around 60 days.
Okay. So about 60 days, 40 to 60 days pass, and you're contacted to ask if you can go to Florida. By whom and for what reason?
I was asked first by Wayne. Wayne called and asked me if I'd go with him. When he asked me if I'd go with him to Florida, I already knew what trip he's talking about. He's been telling everybody about it. He's been talking about it for weeks.
Okay. And how is he describing it to you, as you know it?
He just called me and was like, hey, he's like, Angie's over here. He's like, she's having a his fit is what he called it, that he's going down to Florida. She was supposed to took time off work, and she couldn't get the time off work to help him drive. So he wanted to know if I would help him. I told him no.
Okay. Well, he's a big guy. Why does he need help driving?
He's got a traumatic brain injury. So headlights at nighttime, the flashing of it, just like the strobe of flipping lights on inside of a house, causes him to have a seizure.
Okay. And Missouri to Florida, probably there'd be some night driving. That's a long drive.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you say no.
I told him no,
Why do you say no?
because I had a baby shower that I was hosting that weekend at my house for one of the women I was seeing at the time.
Well, now wait a minute. I thought you and Taylor were in a committed relationship at this point, Jimmy.
No.
Can you explain that?
Taylor actually didn't move in with me until multiple weeks after the wedding. It's like she moved in with me while being homeless. Me and her were not dating. I actually had multiple women that were inside of my life at the time. I was normally sleeping with 3 to 4 different women steadily per week. One of the women that I was seeing at the time, whose baby shower I was supposed to have at my house, Wendy Kreider, Taylor was trying to befriend her and become friends of hers, just like Taylor's trying to, befriend other women I was seeing to try to run them out of my life. Me and Taylor didn't start dating until after Taylor became pregnant.
With your child?
Yes.
Okay. And not to rehash, your romantic endeavors, but I guess the point I want to make sure I understand is, regardless of what else you had going on, as you understand it, you were not in a committed monogamous relationship with Taylor.
I was sleeping with other women outside of our relationship. Taylor was sleeping with other women and men outside of our relationship.
Well, time out. So you are characterizing it as a relationship.
Well, she lives with me,
Okay.
so we have sex every day, but we are not dating. It's just like the woman that was living with me before her, Chelsea Weidman. I had a sexual relationship with her, which is Angela Wright's daughter, which would have been Wayne Wright's stepdaughter.
Okay.
Me and Chelsea Weidman weren't dating. She was my roommate. We still have sex. She still had a boyfriend. She had her ex-boyfriend she was still seeing, other people. Like,
Okay. So, very much an open mind when it comes to the nature of relationships. I understand.
yes.
So, this baby shower, does it keep you from going to Florida?
No. And
Why not?
because I got 4 days off for the weekend. So whenever Wayne asked me to go, I told him no. But then Angela Wright got on the phone, and Angela sounded really upset. And her daughter, Chelsea Weidman, the woman I was just speaking about that used to live with me, had just recently passed away. So with Angela already being upset and still emotional over the loss of her daughter, I told Angela I would help Wayne drive to Florida.
Okay. And I guess you hold these plans kind of close to the chest, kind of keep them under wraps.
Not at all. I told everybody around me that I was going to Florida with Wayne.
And your understanding of why Wayne needed to go to Florida was what?
He was supposed to have been doing some computer work for the Sievers, as well as we were supposed to do some painting at their house.
What do you know about the computer work that he did for the Sievers?
Well, since I've known Curtis Wainwright, he's been doing IT work, as he calls it, for the Sievers. He sets up, I guess, all their computers and everything that goes on with their network there for their business, as well as helping them with our home. Wayne comes down to Florida 4 or 5 times a year, every year since I've known him.
Oh, so since you know, so do you know that he went on these trips, or did he just tell you he went on these trips?
Well, while I was incarcerated, he was telling me about going on these trips, and once I made it out of prison in April of 2014, he continued to keep going down to Florida on these trips on the regular.
Okay,
He's normally gone 3 days to a week.
okay. So, I guess, what do you do to prepare to go on this trip?
Well, whenever I was asked Thursday night, Wayne actually wanted to leave Friday night, and I told him no because I was working Friday, so I agreed to go Saturday first thing in the morning.
Okay. Did you have to tell your employer that you were going to be out of town?
I did not have to. I told Jeff Conway, though, my shift coordinator, that I was going to Florida for the weekend
Okay.
during my 4 days off because normally I work overtime. I like to try to put in those 60-hour weeks.
Okay. I guess, what, if you have the days off, why would he need to know that you're going to be out of town?
Because as a contractor, you just get called into work, as well as I work for the residential as well as the commercial side. So on the commercial side, I'm scheduled for 48-hour weeks, 4 days of 12-hour days, 4 days off. But a lot of times, I'll come in and go work the residential side, painting houses, putting on roofs, building porches, installing windows, putting in flooring, you name it, whatever we need done.
Okay.
Drywall, frame houses,
Anything else? Okay.
I could make a whole list.
No need. Okay, so I guess besides kind of letting people know I'm going to be gone for a bit, do you have to bring anything with you? You know, anything to prepare?
Well, first off, it's like I told multiple people. I didn't just tell my boss.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sustained.
So, what do you have to bring with you to go on this trip?
I brought with me 2 painter's uniforms. I brought with me some booties, some rubber gloves, the blue 3M tape, that's the painter's tape, the good stuff. That way you get straight lines and it actually peels off correctly. I brought my paint roller that I use for my edger to go around corners such as baseboards.
If you hold on one second, actually, now, who else did you tell that you're going on this trip?
I told Taylor, because Taylor has to know. She lives with me. It's like, told Wendy Kreider, the woman I was seeing whose baby shower I was supposed to be hosting that weekend. It's like, I told her, her mom. I told Jordan, who I was working with that week, because when I got told this on Thursday night, I do believe I was at work. I might be mistaken, but I do believe I was at work. It's like this was last second for me, but I told him, I told my shift coordinator. Yeah, oh,
Okay, so, sorry to interrupt you. You were talking about the professional tools and other accessories you were bringing down to do the job that you were employed to take down in Florida.
yes. I try to bring in a bunch of specialty tools because Wayne's not a contractor like myself. So my experience is doing side work with him on the regular is that he doesn't, own any of this stuff. And I don't want paint all over my clothes, as well as without an edger. You have to try a hand brush and then it looks bad. You got all the brush marks. So I'm trying to bring all my specialty stuff that I know that he doesn't have. Even the 3M painter's tape, if you buy the cheap stuff at Dollar General, it doesn't peel right. The paint actually goes through the tape down to the adhesive and it doesn't want to peel.
Okay. And how about maybe blue coveralls, something like that?
That's what I'm calling my painter's uniforms.
That's what you call your painter's uniforms.
I get these from the place I work at. We use them for a number of different jobs. So, for instance, I'll wear them whenever I'm inside of homes, sanding drywall, not to get dust all over my clothes. I wear them whenever I'm working on cars. I've worn them before whenever I'm working at Wholesome, the world's largest cement factory, whenever working around lime because it'd burn you.
So you bring the two those painter uniforms with you. What does Curtis bring with him?
For the painting job,
Yes, sir.
he brought 2 paint cans, he brought some rollers, the big long sticks, he's got some plastic. That was in the trunk of the car whenever I put my stuff in the trunk of the car. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you because we never really unloaded our bags to spend the night.
Okay. And how about devices? Are you bringing computers with you, or bringing phones with you, anything like that?
I got my phone with me, Wayne's got a phone with him. We got the GPS that's inside the car, and Wayne's got his backpack that's a Swiss Army backpack that reads Wayne in red letters, and it's full of what I always call his computer nerd stuff, because he does this IT, as well as he installs security systems for people. That's one of his other cash jobs he does, so he has his to-go bag or whatever with all his computers, his laptop, a bunch of stuff in it.
Okay. And I guess, was it at that point that he told you that you were taking a trip to go kill somebody?
He never told me that we're going to Florida to kill anybody, ever.
Okay. Well, from there, I guess, how long is that car ride?
The car ride down here is about 19 hours.
Okay. And who's driving?
I drove during the nighttime, Wayne drove during the daytime.
Okay. And did you drive straight through?
Yes, sir.
You know, why didn't you stop anywhere for, I don't know, comfort's sake?
Well, we stop along the way as far as to get food, take pictures. Like, for instance, while we were coming down, there was a big flood for the Mississippi River, so we stopped. We took some pictures over by the Mississippi River Bridge sign. We took pictures along, I don't know, stuff that's along the route. I don't know, like a little mini vacation.
All right. So let's talk about your departure. I believe earlier you were indicating that you understood you were going to leave at a specific time. Talk about that.
So Wayne wanted to actually originally leave Friday night, and I told him I couldn't because I work Friday night. So I agreed to go first thing Saturday morning because I only got my 4 days off. So Saturday morning, when he didn't show up at 4 a.m. like he was supposed to have showed up, I eventually texted him and asked him when he's going to get there. Eventually, Wayne showed up at my house, I believe, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And I guess, did he tell you, hey, I had something come up, sorry I'm late?
No, he's got a key to my house, so whenever it first pulls up, we hear the car door, we look outside of our window to see who pulled in our driveway. He used his own key, let himself inside, had breakfast with me and Taylor. I know, he looked high to me.
Why do you say that?
His eyes are bulging, he's got big black pupils, he's got his beard grown out, with him being bald, his hair's growing on the side. Normally whenever he's on a drug bender, he lets his hygiene go bad, and that was the sign.
Okay. So it had nothing to do with him being bald that made you think he was high?
No,
Okay.
I'm saying is bad hygiene, sweating really bad. Whenever you're in an air-conditioned room and you're just pouring in sweat, normally that's a sign that you're on methamphetamines or some kind of stimulant,
Okay.
besides the bulging eyeballs and him grinding his teeth.
Okay. So you observed these things. Did he say anything like, oh boy, I was on a bender?
No, not at that point in time. Later he did.
Okay. In what context did that come up?
While we're inside the car ride, he was telling me that he got Adderall from Robert Weidman, which is Wayne's brother-in-law, who also happens to be Mark Sievers' former stepson.
Oh, okay.
Yep, welcome to Missouri.
Well, did Wayne have his own prescription for Adderall?
Yes, he did, but he likes to eat his, like Skittles, and then buy up as many people's Adderall as he can.
Okay. Well, I guess, despite all of that, did he appear to be thinking, based on your knowledge of him, did he appear to be thinking clearly, coherently, and calmly during this car ride down?
Objection. Foundation.
Sustained.
How long have you known Curtis Wainwright?
I've known him since 2010.
Okay, and in that time, have you personally observed him taking drugs?
Yes, sir.
And have you noticed the distinction between times when he isn't using and times when he is using?
Absolutely.
Now, with that, I guess you'd call it a foundation. Could you determine whether or not he appeared to be acting as you know him to act when he's not high?
Objection. Now, relevance.
Sustained.
Okay. How was he during your ride down to Florida?
He was very jittery,
Okay.
as well as he spoke about how that his marriage has gone to shit since Chelsea Weidman's passing away.
Objection. Non-responsive.
Sustained.
Okay. I guess, did Curtis ever talk with you about how his marriage was going?
Yes, sir.
Did Angie ever talk with you about how the marriage was
Objection.
going?
Relevance.
Might I
And-
respond?
Yes, sir.
So, this is going to play into what was going through Curtis's mind when subsequent events are characterized later. I believe his state of mind, as perceived by someone who's known him for a number of years, is relevant to understanding what happened subsequently.
Relevance. I don't understand what his relation. Well, I shouldn't. I'm not going to tell them how to overcome the objection, but the defense hasn't established how this question is relevant to anything in this case. And it is hearsay.
Well, I don't even think he asked him what he said. Well, I guess he did.
So to the extent that there's a hearsay comment, this would be effect on the listener. It's not being offered because I know, or Jimmy knows for certain, that these things are true.
What is the relevance if it's in the car on the way down and the event isn't for hours later? Or almost a day later?
So this is going to be a couple hours later, under 18, and I believe his state of mind during the period of time where he is observed using drugs immediately preceding what is a violent murder is relevant to, what happens in the course of that incident.
And this is during what part of the trip?
This is during the trip down to Florida,
Which is how long again?
approximately 19 hours.
So at what point during the trip? Because I think if it's at 19 hours out, I don't think it's relevant. Sustained.
Okay. So, I guess, does Curtis talk about what you all are going to be doing down in Florida while you're driving down there?
Not really. Mostly what he spoke about for the most part was us going to the beach, how that he couldn't wait to see Mark. Otherwise, he spoke about, I don't know, how that Mark's kids call him uncle.
Okay. And what do you mean he was excited to see Mark? I thought he was going there to do IT work.
Well, if you wanna,
Let's talk about, or just respond to the question I'm asking.
all right, the question.
What do you mean he's excited to see Mark?
He's excited. I don't know, he's smiling whenever he speaks about Mark.
What is your understanding of Curtis's relationship to Mark?
My understanding from Curtis Wainwright is that Mark and him have a homosexual gay relationship together that they keep secretive from their wives.
Let me ask you this. From whom do you get that information?
Curtis Wainwright.
Do you ever get that information from Mark Sievers?
No, I do not.
Okay. How does Curtis characterize this relationship that he has with Mark? How, duration, things like that?
Wayne's told me about doing gay things with Mark Sievers since they were both teenagers.
Well, as far as you know, was Angie aware of this?
Angie actually asked,
Question, Angie's relevance.
Sustained.
Fair enough. So, I guess, besides Curtis's word, do you have any reason to believe that this is true?
yes.
What reason is that?
Angela Wright asked me at the wedding as we were setting up if I thought that her husband was gay because during the threesome that she had the night.
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
So, I guess it's fair to say there are things besides Curtis that makes you suspect that there's something to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is Curtis expressing, his belief that anything romantic is going to happen during this trip?
Yes, he was speaking about telling me that the reasons that he comes down here all the time is that this is Mark's way of hiding his gay relationship from his wife with Wayne. That's why he hires Wayne in Missouri to do IT work as well as working on his house regularly. That's why he comes to Florida 4 or 5 times a year. This is the whole reason he doesn't hire somebody locally. This is essentially a way to hide their gay relationship.
Okay. So, down to Florida, where are you going to stay?
Mark Sievers' house.
Okay. So, I guess no hotels or anything like that. Curtis tells you you're going to be able to stay there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does Curtis tell you that you should expect the family to be there?
I just naturally assumed that the family was going to be there. This is somewhere he comes 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay. And I guess, was it at that point that he asks whether you want to do it at the medical office or at the Sievers residence?
I'm confused by your question.
Is it at that point that he asks you whether you want to do the murder that is purportedly procured at the medical practice or the Sievers residence?
Wayne never told me that we're coming to Florida to commit a murder, ever at any point in time, ever.
Okay, okay. So what time do you get in Florida?
We get to Florida, I don't know, early in the morning, 5, 6 a.m. I don't know, very early.
Can you recall whether or not the sun was up?
The sun was just coming up.
Okay. So you go straight to the Sievers residence.
Yes, sir.
And where do you park?
We park right in the driveway.
Okay, you don't park off the property somewhere down the street.
No, sir.
Okay, and this is in the morning that you park right in the driveway.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you find out whether or not anyone's home?
Yes, we unpacked the stuff out of the trunk, our bags. Essentially, if you were going to a hotel room, the same stuff that you would take to a hotel room, we grab our bags, our clothes that we packed to spend the night there at the Sievers. I got multiple, outfits that I brought with me, so did Wayne. We walk into the garage, he enters the code, we walk right into the garage, he closes it, we walk into the house.
Let me pause you there and back up. Garage is open or closed?
The garage was closed when we pulled up.
Okay. How does Curtis open the garage?
It's got a alarm pad, I guess, little pad over to the side. He
Little
enters.
keypad?
Yep, little
Okay.
keypad. He enters the code into the keypad.
Do you know what the code is?
I do not.
Okay. Proceed.
He walks over, hits the code, the garage door opens, we walk in, he closes it. We walk into the house from the garage. As soon as we walk into the house, the little pad next to the door makes a little beeping noise.
And is that, what is that, like a home security system?
I presumably so.
Okay.
Wayne enters in a code into the home security system. He starts calling the dogs by name, bends down, pets the dogs, calls them little pet names. After he gets done petting the dogs, he starts hollering for Mark. Wayne's all excited to hear from Mark. He's hollering Mark's name. No response is coming. Wayne tells me, hang tight there. I say hang tight. Stay in the kitchen. He's gonna go check on Mark as he walks through the kitchen towards the left side of the home, leaving me standing there in the hallway right as soon as you walk into the kitchen. He vanishes for a short period. He comes back. He tells me that nobody's home, that we gotta go, that we can't stay in the home, that nobody's there.
Oh, well, shoot. Do you know how that happened?
I discovered later that Curtis Wayne Wright apparently mixed up the times of whenever we're supposed to be coming down to Florida for this trip and whenever Mark had his own trip planned. Although Wayne's been telling everybody about this trip for at least a good month prior to us actually going on the trip.
Okay. Well, do you know how it came to be? Did he explain how he got the dates mixed up?
No, he never made that abundantly clear.
Okay.
He's got a
Is that
TBI
something that you've observed him to do before?
all the time.
Why all the time? Or what causes it to happen with such frequency?
His traumatic brain injury.
Okay. understand you're not a doctor, right?
I am not.
Okay, and I guess you don't have a traumatic brain injury yourself, do you?
No, sir.
Okay, so I guess to the extent that you are aware of how the TBI affected him, where did you come across that knowledge?
I see it all the time, just being in his presence.
Okay, so
Like-
you observe these things personally. So go ahead, what are those things that you observe him doing?
Like, he'll put a burrito inside the microwave, open up the refrigerator, forget why he was in the refrigerator, close it, walk off, come back later, grab a burrito, go to put it in the microwave, and discover a cold one's already in there. Or I'll watch him go to make a sandwich, reach in to the refrigerator or grab something for the sandwich, forget what he's doing, and walk out of the kitchen and leave it there. That's just some basic stuff. Like,
Okay.
he always is forgetting stuff on the job site, forgetting tools, not bringing stuff, blowing me off whenever I tell him to be there on Wednesday and he doesn't show up. Like, he just always is,
Okay, so he got his dates or his times mixed up as far as you know?
yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you do?
We went to the beach, have fun,
Okay.
went sightseeing.
Why didn't you just turn around and go back to Missouri?
Why would we? We were supposed to be down here as far as I knew.
Oh, you know, that reminds me of something I wanted to ask you earlier. Were you paid for your trip down to Florida?
No, I was not. I was promised $100 to help Wayne paint,
Let me
As-
ask you about that.
as well as I was promised he was gonna pay for the vacation.
Okay. Let me ask you about the $100. Did you need the money?
No, sir.
You were still working your other jobs at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you having any trouble paying bills?
No, sir.
Okay, I think you gave me a number earlier regarding a fair portion of your aggregate take-home pay left over once all your bills are paid.
Yep,
That's still the case?
yep.
Okay. So you're paid $100 or told you'll get $100 to come help them? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Now back to what you were doing after you left the Sievers residence. Did he express any reason to believe that the Sievers would be back sometime soon?
Yeah, he said they would be back later that day.
Did he explain to you why he thought that?
No, he did not.
Did you ask?
I just, whenever they weren't there, I asked him, I was like, what's going on? That's when he explained that they were apparently on their trip, that he messed up the times. Whenever he said that they'd be back later that day, that we were just gonna go to the beach, go out, essentially do what tourists do here in Florida, and come back later. I
Okay.
assumed that he had knowledge that I didn't have.
Okay. And it was his trip, so you were just kind of following his lead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, besides the beach, what else did you do?
We went to Walmart to get more stuff for the beach because we discovered we were ill prepared. For instance, I didn't bring towels. I brought my swimming trunks. I brought like a thin shirt that dries quick. I brought my swimming shoes, but I didn't bring any towels. Wayne's sandals that he brought are holding water like a sponge. So after he gets out of the water, every step that he makes, it like squishes water out of the soles. So he had to get some water shoes. Just where do you put your phone when you go to the beach? You know, your watch, your other stuff, your car keys. So we didn't have any of this kind of stuff prepared for the beach.
Okay, I thought you were asking me, and as you can tell, I don't go to the beach. So. All right, so I guess do you like take any pictures while you're there?
We took pictures all the way coming down to Florida and while in Florida.
Okay.
Together.
And while you're down in Florida, kind of killing time, do either you or Curtis contact anyone back from Missouri?
Yes, both of us.
Who would you contact?
Angela Wright actually called my phone to talk to Wayne
Okay.
while we were in Florida.
Why'd she call your phone rather than Wayne?
I don't know. Like, she called my phone to talk to Wayne. I handed Wayne my phone. It's like, they talked. He told her like that we made it to Florida safely, that we'd be back Tuesday night, that Mark apparently wasn't home, you know, that we'd be back Tuesday night.
Okay. That brings up another point that I'll ask you about it right now. The trip's duration, you understand it to be leave early Saturday, return Tuesday.
I had to be back to work Wednesday morning.
Okay.
Wayne actually wanted a longer trip. That means that I actually supposed to clock in at 4 a.m. on Wednesday. So I'm supposed to make it home sometime close to around midnight on Tuesday. So that was the game plan.
Okay. So I guess, when do you, if ever, return to the Sievers residence?
We returned there around 10:30 at night.
Okay, so it's getting kind of later into the evening. What else are you doing to eat up this time?
We went down to the pier, bought a bunch of souvenirs at all the gift shops there, but quickly discovered one gift shop's identical to the next. It just sells the same stuff, different store. So, took some pictures down there with the parrot. I don't know, thought that was actually kind of cool. Bought a Taylor Showmaker some gifts. Wayne bought a shark tooth necklace for his daughter Lizzie, because he's got a 9 or 10-year-old daughter at the time. I bought a scorpion under glass for his brother Jerry. He bought an alligator's head. I don't know, we both were picking up a bunch of seashells to bring back. He's bringing them back for Angela, I was bringing them back for Taylor. I bought Taylor a Fort Myers Beach t-shirt. I bought a couple shot glasses it's a him and her set that's blue and pink.
Let me, time out. So you bought a shirt that said Fort Myers on it.
Yes,
So you bought an article of clothing that provided proof positive that you were in Florida during this weekend. Why would you bring that, or why would you obtain that evidence, Jimmy?
because we're not in Florida to commit a crime. We're
Okay.
supposed to be going to Mark's house to work and spend the night.
Okay.
This is why I'm also telling Taylor Showmaker that I'm in Florida. There's numerous people that I told I was in Florida. I talked to my shift coordinator while I'm in Florida. I told him I'd be home Tuesday night, late Tuesday night, because he actually tried calling me into work. So just hours before the murder, I told him I wouldn't be back till late Tuesday night, before then showing up a day and a half early.
Okay. So, 10:30 rolls along, you head back to the Sievers residence. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So this time, you must park a couple blocks away and then proceed to the home on foot.
No, sir.
Where do you park?
Driveway.
Okay. So you park in the driveway, I guess, where the Sievers home.
They was not.
Okay. Did Curtis, how did he respond to that?
Whenever we ran out of just things to do, we actually first stopped by the beach that we were at earlier that morning. We were trying to shower before going over to the Sievers. The beach shower was locked, so we left from the beach to go to the Sievers. We just parked in the driveway, knowing that nobody was home. Like all the lights are off inside the home, and we're just waiting for them to show up.
Okay.
Grant us entry into the house.
And is Curtis expressing any concern that the Sievers aren't there yet?
No,
Okay, I guess, does he seem confident that they'll arrive?
yes, sir.
Okay. I know you said you're waiting there. Are you doing anything, calling anyone, reading anything?
I talked to Taylor off and on the whole time I was in Florida. I can't tell you if that was during one of those times or not.
Okay.
I know that I got out of the car to smoke at some point.
Okay. And when you're out of the car, are you hanging around kind of the side of the house where are you?
Right beside the car, right in the driveway. Everybody can see me, like
Okay.
nothing secretive.
Okay. So, I guess is there ever a point in time where someone of the Sievers family does arrive?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
While we were sitting inside the driveway, a van pulls up, lights shine on the side of our car, garage door opens, van pulls into the house, garage door remains open.
Let me pause right there and ask you about that. I thought that you were parked in the driveway.
Yes, there's two sides on the driveway, so you have two different garage doors. We are parked on the one to the far right. In front of that garage door, I now know today, as well as after we entered the home, that there was a station wagon on that side of the garage.
Okay. So you're parked on one side of the driveway. I guess there's sufficient room for a van to pull in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, proceed from there, what happens?
The van pulls into the garage. The garage door remains open. We pop the trunk, we grab our stuff again, the stuff that we brought in originally that morning that we were bringing in to spend the night. We get our stuff. As we're walking towards the home, Teresa walks around the van. She's now standing by the back of the taillights of the van.
If I can pause you there.
Yep,
Had you ever met Miss Sievers before? Mrs.
Never.
Sievers before, excuse me.
never.
Okay, so this is your first time encountering Mrs. Sievers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
And her immediate reaction to seeing Wayne and me walking up her driveway is she asked Wayne, "What are you doing here?" Like, she's immediately got an attitude. She's got a problem with him being there. Wayne starts telling her that he messed up the times of whenever I guess we were supposed to show up. And she immediately starts yelling at him. We walked into the garage. She closed the garage door behind us.
Okay, and let me pause you there just to make sure I understand. Both you and Curtis, at that point, proceed through the garage door, which has been opened.
Yep.
Along with Mrs. Sievers. So all three of you, I guess at this point, are in the garage.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
After she closed the garage door, her and Wayne's dialogue continue. Heated like argument while she unloads the stuff from the side of the van. Wayne's now standing at the front of the van. I'm standing on, I guess, the side of the van closer to where the passenger side door would be.
So the passenger side?
Passenger side, because the van's pulled into the garage nose first,
Okay.
bumper first. So I'm standing on the side of the van where the passenger door would be. She's on the driver's side with that door open over there, grabbing her stuff out of the van.
Let me ask you about that. You say that door open, so is that the driver door which is open? Is it the I guess, side sliding door? Like, which
She-
door's open and having stuff
She
in
had
front
the
of it?
driver's door open, grabbing some stuff out of it whenever we walked over towards the front of the van, and she has her stuff in front of the van at that point, arguing with Wainwright.
Okay. And I guess, is there enough room in the garage for it to open up within the garage and not, strike the side of the garage?
The driver's door?
Yes.
Yes, that's how she got in and out of the van.
Okay. All right, so she's unpacking while having this conversation with Curtis. What are you doing?
I'm just standing there kind of wondering what the heck's going on because I was expecting a normal, reunion. Whenever I show up to people's house to work on the regular, like normal, because this is, to me, you might have a job where you work in a courtroom. My job isn't working in people's houses. I'm used to people being more receptive of us whenever we show up.
You're there to do something.
Yes.
Okay. But that's inconsistent with what you're observing between Mrs. Sievers and Curtis?
Yes.
Okay. I guess, did she have any reason to believe that Curtis and you would be there waiting for her upon her arrival?
Objection, witness lacks personal knowledge of what Dr. Sievers would know.
Sustained.
Did you hear anything during the course of their exchange that led you to believe that this was an expected encounter between the two of them?
She said that when I shouldn't say the word we, he was expected to show up next weekend, not the weekend that we were there. That he, Curtis Wainwright, was expected to show up next weekend.
Okay. So, how's Wayne taking all of this as you can observe? What's his demeanor?
Wayne, who's already been in a bad mood throughout the entire day and is already high and angry, he's frustrated. He's not taking this very well. You could see that he's trying to essentially bite back his temper as she continuously.
Let me ask you, have you ever seen Wayne lose his temper before?
Yes, actually quite frequently.
Okay, so you're not kind of guessing, are you like recognizing, ways that he's acting or his demeanor?
Absolutely. With working with Wayne, seeing him throw a bandsaw, or a circular saw, I should say, across the room, actually through the drywall, and other temper tantrums on the job site, yelling at people, I know his mannerisms.
Okay, So proceed from there regarding the exchange between Mrs. Sievers and Wainwright.
So she is yelling at him, telling him he's an idiot, and she's yelling at him, telling him he does a terrible job as on their IT work, that he has to come here to Florida constantly to work on their computers, that it's always broken, that she's tired of paying him to do this, told him that he's fired, that she's gonna hire somebody different, somebody local. So she's got her finger in his face, she's screaming at him, and it was during this exchange that, while keeps saying that it's his TBI and trying to take no responsibility essentially for being there late, he picked up a hammer that was in arm's reach and struck her with it.
Did you see where the hammer was?
It was sitting on the deep freeze.
Let me ask you something. When you're painting, how do you use a hammer when you're painting?
You don't.
Did you bring a hammer with you?
No, sir.
Okay. Is a hammer like a tool that you use frequently in your job?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you didn't have one with you that night?
No, sir.
Okay. Curtis grabs the hammer. What happens then?
He strikes her with it.
Where is she standing when so struck?
They are face to face in a full-on yelling and screaming match. Or I should say more like she's yelling at him, like he's trying to keep his cool.
But where are they?
Directly in front of the minivan.
Okay,
So they're
still in the
standing,
garage.
she's standing, yes, she's standing right beside the deep freezer. He's standing right beside the deep freezer, right there at the corner of the deep freezer, right where the door is that enters into the Sievers home.
Okay. He strikes her. What happens?
She takes off running down the hallway into the kitchen.
Does she, before she does so, or I guess let me ask this first. Where are you standing?
I'm still standing with my backpack over my shoulder there by the passenger door of the van, waiting for Curtis to walk in, because there's only a little bit of room between the front of the van to make it between the deep freeze and the van itself to actually walk into the house.
I forgot to ask you something else. I'm going to back up for a second, okay? While you are in Florida with Curtis, is there ever a point in time which you drive by the Sievers medical practice?
No, sir.
Have you ever been to the Sievers
No.
medical practice? Okay. Thank you. Returning to where we were. Once stricken, does Teresa do anything in response to Curtis?
She takes off running towards the kitchen down through that hallway. Wayne goes chasing after her. I drop my bag there inside of the garage. I go chasing after Wayne, telling him, stop, stop, as we're running off into the kitchen together.
Okay. Is there ever a period of time from when the two of them are having their exchange, prior to the strike, that you have an obstructed line of sight of them? Do you have let me ask the better question. Do you have a clear line of sight on them the whole time they're having their exchange?
I'm seeing them from a view from the passenger side door, essentially of the van,
Okay.
and them standing at the front of the van. So I got an angle at view of being able to see both people while yelling at each other.
Okay, nothing in your way blocking your view?
No, sir.
Okay. You follow the two in, what do you see?
Whenever I make it into the kitchen, Teresa's got her back towards the counter. She's fighting, like trying to fight off Curtis. She's got her arms up. Curtis grabs her by her hair. He swings with his body weight in a circle and swings her to the ground, with her landing towards where the dishwasher, I guess it is, the little island in the kitchen.
Let me pause you there to make sure that I understand that. Does he have a hammer in his hand at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know if he's left or right-handed?
He's right-handed.
Okay. So is he grabbing her by the hair with his left hand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to run through what you describe as using his body to throw, because I don't know if I'm understanding you correctly.
Well, I'm in body chains right now, but
Okay.
he grabs her by the hair
With one hand.
with one hand. I can't demonstrate it. It's like he's leaning forward, holding her by the hair. Now it's pulling her head forward. And then kind of like how that you would do a throw for that real heavy ball when they're the people that run track, whatever that's called, where you spin in a circle. Like he grabs her by the hair, and he spins with his body weight to
Shot
yank her to
put.
the ground. Yes, shot
Okay.
put. He grabs her by the hair and spins with his body weight to yank her to the ground.
Okay. So she doesn't fall to the ground, he throws her.
Yes, he grabs her by the hair while her back's against the counter and swings her in a half circle and swings her back into the counter that she was already leaning back up against.
Okay. And I guess proceed from there, please.
She starts trying to go for her phone. There's a bunch of stuff on the ground.
Let me ask you, thank you for saying that. Does she have anything in her hands at this point?
Honestly, everything happened so quick, I couldn't tell you what was going on. I just know that there was a bunch of stuff on the ground after he swung her to the ground.
Okay. Once she's swung to the ground, what does he do?
He starts kicking at her phone and other things that are on the ground. He puts his hand on her back and starts striking her in the back of the head with a hammer over and over and over and over again.
What are you doing?
At this point in time, I had already been screaming, "Stop, stop, stop." But by the time this fight, this little small quick engagement happened, she was already pretty well dead.
You say this small, quick engagement. What are you describing that way?
I'm saying that in real life, kind of like if you watch a boxing match, you can't go and tell me what every swing or punch was whenever you're trying to recall it. This all happened very quickly. He hit her, she ran down the hallway, he chased after her, he instantly swung her to the ground, kicked the stuff, put his hand on her back and started hitting her in the head with a hammer. This was all really quick.
Okay.
This was, I would guess, say under 30 seconds.
Okay. And where are you standing?
At this point in time, I'm standing inside the kitchen, right as where the hallway leads into the kitchen, right beside, I guess, the refrigerator, where you first walk in.
Okay. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing my swimming trunks, a white t-shirt that I've been wearing all day. It's thin white t-shirt. I got on my work boots. I took off my water shoes whenever we left the beach
Why'd you do that?
because they're filled with sand and they're wet. Like, I don't normally wear water shoes outside the water.
Okay. What's Curtis wearing?
He's still got on his water shoes, he's still got on his swimming trunks, and he's still got on the shirt that he was wearing at the beach.
Was there ever a point in time at which either you or he donned the coveralls?
No, sir.
Was there ever a point in time at which you or he put on gloves?
No, sir.
Okay. What does Curtis do once he's, I guess, was there a point in time where he stopped delivering these blows?
After her body went limp, she quit holding herself up with her own two arms while he had his hand on her back after she collapsed to the ground. He continued to strike her in the head a couple more times after that. Then he stopped. He raised his hammer and pointed at me in a threatening manner.
What do you mean a threatening manner?
Well, I'm standing still there beside the refrigerator in the front of it, essentially blocking the hallway area that would walk back into the garage. So after he gets done hitting her, he looks up, his eyes filled with tears, where he's just so angry that he's crying. And as he looks up at me, and then he points the hammer at me, like kind of like if you were holding a microphone out in front of somebody's face. He points the hammer directly towards my face. I put my arms up.
Does he
Surrender.
say anything to you?
No, he doesn't say a word to me. After I put my arms up, I was like, I didn't see shit. Those were my exact words. He then brushes past me and walks down the hallway into the garage.
Okay. And I guess do you go and check on Mrs. Sievers?
No, as I started to go walk behind him towards the garage, he said, made the comment, he goes, we got to make this look like a break-in or a burglary gone wrong. As he grabs her luggage that was there, that she had just unloaded from the van, and he just starts dumping stuff out everywhere all over the ground.
Okay. And
By the way, backtrack, he still's got his hammer with him. He set that off on the freezer whenever he went to go rifling through her belongings.
well, I was gonna get there, but thank you. So How's Curtis's appearance after this? Does he have any blood on him? Is he clean?
He's got a lot of blood on him.
Okay. Do you have any blood on you?
No, sir.
Okay. So once Curtis pushes past you, did you see where he went?
Yes, I followed behind him. He walked directly into the garage. As soon as that you step out of the door at this point by the deep freezer, Teresa's stuff's essentially in your way. It's all still standing there right by the front, well, right by the door of the house.
Oh, and so that's why he picked it up, is impeding him.
I couldn't tell you. As I'm walking behind him, he sets his hammer down and says, "Gotta make this look like a burglary gone wrong."
Okay.
Like as if it's an afterthought.
So
And
what
just
do you
starts
do?
dumping stuff. With where Wayne's at, he's actually blocking my view where I can't walk past him. I can't walk between the van and the freezer with him being where he's at. So I walk between the van and the wall towards where the garage door opener is to go press the button. But once I got over there, I was thinking to myself, like, we got fingerprints in this house from being here earlier in the day. So I used my shirt to wipe my fingerprints off of the garage door button. I walk behind the van over to the motorcycle where we had stopped to look at it, exiting the home early in the morning. I wiped my fingerprints from the handlebars of the motorcycle, at which point I discovered I was alone in the garage.
Okay. Let me ask you about that sequence. Have you ever had to do something like that before? Because it seemed like pretty quick thinking to have to rub down knobs and other things.
No, sir, but having fingerprints, I've watched enough CSI shows and just common basic sense to know got fingerprints.
Okay. So, I guess at this point you realize you're alone in the garage. What do you do?
Wonder where Wayne is, so whenever I don't see him in the garage no more, I walk back towards into the home. I walk through that hallway again. As I walk into the home, I observe Curtis Wainwright leaned over Teresa Sievers' dead body, calling her names, calling her a bitch, and continuing to hit her in the head with a hammer. At which point in time, as soon as I walked in and seen this, I told Wayne my exact words, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Okay. Well, let me ask you about that. Did you have a means of leaving the scene, leaving Florida on your own?
No, sir.
Okay. So, I guess, what's Wayne's response to that?
Wayne stops what he's doing. He walks towards me. He takes his T-shirt, wipes his fingerprints off the handle of the hammer that he was using, and just drops it there in the kitchen. Tells me wait up for him, which I don't. I just keep walking as he stops to wash his arms and blood off inside the sink that's in
Where-
that hallway heading towards the garage.
That was my question. Where is that sink located? Okay. And so, did you watch him wash off?
I was there present enough for him to turn on the water and start splashing the water on his arms where he had blood up and down his arms, at which point I just walked out of the garage and I was done to leave. I didn't want to open the front garage door. It makes a lot of noise. People would see me. So I went out through the side door with my backpack. Right after that, Wayne comes out. Whenever Wayne comes out, he's got a pry bar in his hand. He closes the door, which I was still over here taking my time. The reason why it was taking me so long is I'm trying to wipe my fingerprints off the door as I'm touching it and things as I'm going along. Wayne closes the door, puts a couple pry marks on it. After it's already unlocked and we're already outside the home, he puts a couple pry marks on it, walks back inside the garage to return, put away that pry tool that he found in the garage.
Did you see where he got it from the garage?
No clue.
Okay.
Once he comes back outside the home, he himself closes the door, wipes his fingerprints off the door handle after he closes it, and then he strips his clothes off, puts them inside of his backpack, and puts on another clean pair of clothes that he had brought with him for trip and stay there at the Sievers.
Okay. So, what do? You gotta get in the car with this guy?
I have to. I don't have any other mode of transportation to get back to Missouri.
You didn't call the cops.
No, sir.
Why didn't you call the cops?
At the time, I'm just scared. I'm in the moment. My PTSD is going. I just want to get out of the house.
Okay. And I guess, had Curtis made any threats towards you at that point?
Not yet at that point.
Okay. So, what do you do then?
We then go to the car. Once we go to the car, we put our stuff back inside the trunk, the stuff that we were planning, I don't know, to keep there at the Sievers to spend the night. We put our stuff away, we leave from there, and we go directly back to Missouri.
Okay. Let's talk about that car ride back. I guess, does Wayne do anything that causes within you concern for your own safety?
Yes,
What's that?
well, he's very up, down, all around.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, earlier inside of the evening while we were there walking around the beach, we had been drinking. Wayne hasn't slept this entire 19-hour drive down here. The whole time we're down here, he's snorting Adderall, he's high. And now he's going from super angry to super happy. So first thing he tells me is he's crying and he's telling me that he never meant to kill her, that I got to understand it was an accident, he just freaked out, it's his TBI. 2 seconds later, he's laughing and giggling and telling me it was a fun game of whack-a-mole. And then he's threatening to kill me and threatening to kill Taylor if I go to the cops or tell anybody.
During this car ride, I don't know, do you do anything that, is like a precaution for your own safety?
Yes, I continuously make numerous phone calls as well as text to Taylor throughout the trip heading back to Missouri.
Why do you do that?
That way you can ping my phone, the travel from Florida back to Missouri.
Well, that sounds pretty technical, Jimmy. How familiar are you with telecommunications?
I'm not, but this is, back then it was 2015 even. It's like, we've had movies since the 90s that shows you how that they can track your phone.
I'm not talking about movies in the 90s. Do you know how that stuff works?
No, I just know enough common sense that my phone's being tracked.
Okay. So, I guess, what utility does pinging cell phone towers serve you?
It,
Do you believe it serves you?
because I'm worried that Wayne's gonna kill me on the car ride back, make me vanish. It's like I'm concerned for my own safety at this point in time.
Okay.
So
I guess, help me square that concern versus your rationale for pinging cell phone towers.
because if he kills me, at least they'll know at some point in time why my phone just quit corresponding, essentially pinging off the tower. Somebody will know essentially that what happened to me. As well as by me talking to Taylor constantly, I'm also nervous. My PTSD is going through the roof
And how does that present, your PTSD going through the roof?
because
No, I mean,
If you've ever had a
what does it
panic-
look like?
racing thoughts, shaking hands, I don't know, almost like a panic attack.
Okay. Okay. So,
Clammy palms, like I can name off anxiety.
I thought you were just describing me. Okay. So, how long is the car ride back?
16, 17 hours, I don't know.
Okay. Do you make the same amount of stops going back as you did coming to?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We didn't take any pictures going back. On the way coming down, we took a bunch of pictures with sightseeing. On the way back, we're not. We're not pulling over to take pictures. We're not photographing. We're not having a good time. This isn't a relaxed moment.
Can you make it to Florida and Missouri on a single tank of gas?
No.
So you had to gas up.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember how much gas was around that time?
175, 179? No,
Okay.
yeah. 178, 179 for regular.
Okay.
Yep.
So, as you're corresponding with Taylor on the ride home, are you telling her anything about what happened?
No.
Why?
Well, Wayne's threatening me if I was to tell Taylor, as well as that I'm scared to, I don't know, message her and tell her anything. It's like, get her involved in this. I freaked out at this point. And Taylor's telling me that she's got something serious that she needs to tell me when I get home, so I'm worried about what's going on whenever they're back in Missouri. Like, she's got me also worried about what's going on there because how that she's sounding, and she sounds all frantic when I'm speaking with her.
Okay. So, where does this car ride end? Does Wayne take you to his place, or?
No, we go to my house in Cadet, Missouri. whenever we go to get close, Taylor wanted me to contact her, that way she can meet me at the home, because she said there's something that she has to tell me whenever I arrive.
Okay. And Wayne drops you off there. Does he give you any parting thoughts?
Wayne came inside. He came inside the home with me and Taylor.
Did you invite him inside?
He just kind of helped himself inside. As I was getting out of the car, he was like, let me help you with that. And he grabs my cooler, because I got my cooler that I had originally full of water bottles and sandwiches that Taylor had packed for our trip. It's like, for the beach, that's later what we put our alcohol in.
Okay.
As we come inside the home, Taylor actually asked Wayne, she said, how's your twin doing? And Wayne told her this fabricated false story about how that we took turns riding Mark's motorcycle up and down the coastline, and how that we had this great time.
So, I don't know, is anyone curious about what you're doing home on, what would that be, late Saturday night, early Sunday?
That would have been a day and a half, I think it is, early,
Okay.
by my recollection.
Is anyone curious about that?
Yes, Wayne just told her, his wording was that he got his computer nerd stuff done early, so we made it back sooner than expected.
Okay. And you talked about it a little bit earlier, but how do you feel? What's going through your head?
I'm freaked out. I'm worried for my own safety because what Wayne's telling me, Wayne's also telling me he's killed other people during this car ride. He's telling me about other murders he's been involved in.
How about his demeanor after the car ride? How is he acting? How is he presenting to you?
He's acting joyful and happy like nothing ever happened.
Okay. Does Wayne ever depart your residence and leave you alone at that point?
Yes, after he tells Taylor this false story about us taking turns riding Mark's motorcycle, he whispers in my ear that now I'd be accessory after the fact if I go to the cops. And then he kind of chuckles and then gives me this big smile and wave and, thanks Taylor and leaves. He's in a good, happy, cheerful mood.
Well, from a frying pan to a fire, what does Taylor say to you?
Taylor informed me when I made it home that she was pregnant.
Did you know anything about her being pregnant prior to departing for Florida?
No, sir.
Okay. And is there anything else to add to that? Did she have anything else to tell you?
After she told me that she was pregnant, I asked her if she wanted to keep it because I was up for the abortion. She said that she wanted to keep it, so we decided that we would try to make things work between us.
Okay.
We, at that point in time, said that we'd essentially start trying to date one another, try to make this work for the kids' sake.
Okay.
So until after this murder, I was not dating Taylor Showmaker.
Okay. At that point, do you tell Taylor what happened?
No, I did not.
At that point, you called law enforcement.
No, sir.
Let's start with Taylor. Why didn't you tell Taylor?
Because Taylor, first off, can't keep a secret. If I was to try to confide in Taylor, who knows who she would try to tell it to? And
Well, what's the problem with that, right? Like, what's the problem with Taylor going to law enforcement?
well, at this point in time, I'm concerned for my safety, her safety, as well as I'm worried about being charged for accessory after the fact for just being with Wayne in Florida.
Okay. While we're talking about charges and travel, is there any reason why it was not a great idea for you to go to Florida in the context of legal exposure?
Yes, it's true that I was on federal probation at the time that I was down here in Florida.
One of the conditions of which was?
I'm not supposed to leave my home state of Missouri.
Well, it seems like a pretty big risk to take for $100. Why'd you do it?
Because it's not actually a big risk, because that's just a technical violation, kind of like me drinking is a technical violation. And I'm drinking, I got alcohol in my home that my federal probation officer is aware of, as well as that the federal agents that I see in the bar have to report to my probation officer that they've seen me in the bar. I can name off a bunch of them. This isn't something that they violate you for.
Okay. Another thing I'd like to ask you about. Curtis, you describe him doing some drugs. You spend a lot of time with Curtis. Do you do any drugs with Curtis?
No, I'm actually supposed to be his sponsor. Like, he normally comes to me and confides in me that he's going through some troubles. He goes ups and downs, where he essentially stays off meth for a while, then comes back to it. But it's a pretty consistent thing. I'd say about once a month that he seems to relapse. He never takes his sobriety truly serious. It's more that his wife wants him to be sober.
Okay. Has he told you, or do you have any, firsthand knowledge of, any mental health reason besides TBIs that he might have, some erratic behaviors?
Other than seeing him, I don't know, yell and snap on people, normally whenever he's high on meth, like whenever we're on a job site.
Well, you'd mentioned that he really only does side jobs for cash.
Yep.
Is there a reason why he doesn't work?
Yes, because of his mental problems that he has. The diagnosis, I'm trying to,
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Okay. So, you don't tell Taylor about the issue? Why don't you call the police about Curtis once you're back in Missouri?
because of the numerous threats that he's made against my life, I take them very creditable after just witnessing him murder somebody with a hammer. As well as that I know from, I don't know, being around Curtis, of all the other people that he's connected with, that even if he was incarcerated, I'd have reason to fear from other people that he knows.
Okay. Well, luckily you had a cell phone with you. You took a bunch of pictures. Where's that cell phone now?
It is destroyed.
Oh. Why? Or I guess, when was it destroyed and why was it destroyed?
It was destroyed after meeting Wayne at a bar.
Okay.
And after we met Wayne at a bar, Taylor Showmaker essentially tried extorting Wayne with this phone, telling Wayne, because whenever we met Wayne, in chronological order to make this make sense, the detectives came to our home July 18th. After the detectives came, we had to notify Wayne that the detectives had come.
Why'd you have to notify Wayne?
Because July 13th, Wayne, after he got released from jail, he told me that the detectives would probably be to my house next, that he's got an airtight alibi, at which time I told Taylor Showmaker that Curtis Wainwright had murdered Teresa Sievers while we were in Florida.
Okay.
And he told us not to go, obviously, to law enforcement. I told her about the threats that he had made.
Okay. Yes, I'm still missing why the phone was destroyed.
Okay, so after the detectives came, we notified Wayne. We met at a bar. Taylor's telling Wayne, as he gives us his false alibis, that she has pictures of Wayne in Florida sightseeing and taking pictures. She tries extorting Wayne with these photographs, telling him that the detectives had told her that he's being paid life insurance money by Mark Sievers, and that there's more than $1 million worth of life insurance. The detectives are offering her $55,000 to make a statement in this case. She wants to know how much that he's willing to pay her not to. At which time that Curtis Wainwright instructs us to destroy this phone, get rid of it, and get rid of anything else that would tie us to Florida or connect him to Florida at the time of the murder.
Well, to connect him, it wouldn't necessarily implicate you, so why would you destroy that phone?
I've been wanting to destroy the phone since right after that Wayne called July 13th and told us to get rid of stuff. Taylor didn't want me to destroy it because it has pictures of her kids on it.
Okay.
I wanted to destroy it because Wayne's claiming he's got an airtight alibi that puts him in Missouri. He's working on Chris Taylor's truck. And I want to destroy anything that shows that I went to Florida or ever was with him, any of this.
Okay. Well, how about everything else that came with you down to Florida? I think there was those coveralls. What happened to those coveralls?
Taylor threw those out of the vehicle leaving her mom's house. And
Why in the world would she do that?
she knew I took them to Florida. I have no idea. She grabbed it off the floorboard of my car and threw it out. I still got 2 more pair that are inside the trunk of my car and a pair at home.
The pair that was tossed by Taylor, was that the pair that came with you down to Florida?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think we've gotten
The
this
other ones
far.
are fireproof.
I think we've gotten this far without discussing what Curtis did with his bloody clothes. Did you see what Curtis did with his bloody clothes?
Yes, after he put them inside the backpack, later whenever we was driving back to Missouri, while we was stopped, he threw them away inside of a trash can.
Where was the trash can?
It was at a roadside park. He threw away the entire backpack.
Okay. Can you recall where in the world this park was?
No, sir. We're just following the GPS, and it's in the early hours of the day.
Okay. I'm glad you brought the GPS up again. Whose was that?
That is Curtis Wayne Wright's.
Okay. And was your phone ever plugged into it?
He hooked my phone to it
Why did he do that?
because apparently that he could download some app that he has on his phone, but he didn't have his phone with him. So he used my phone to download this app that gives you updates for traffic as well as for the flooding.
And this just might be an issue with my own recollection. It's getting a little late, but I thought you said Curtis had a phone with him.
He did. He had a flip phone that was with him. It's his, what he calls his work phone.
Well, golly, Jimmy, how many phones does Curtis Wainwright have?
He normally has 2 and maintains 2 phones since I've met him.
Since you've met him, and
I
that's
say
going back
met
to
him.
20.
Well, I say since 2014, he's maintained 2 phones.
Okay. Does he mentioned work? Do you know that to be the reason why he maintains another phone?
The other reason I know is that he uses it to hide homosexual activities away from his wife. As, well, it was his girlfriend, later became his wife.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Why is he being so secretive about it?
Because his girlfriend wouldn't approve.
Relevance, personal knowledge.
Sustained.
Okay. So, this other phone he uses for spicier communications. Do you know, would he ever use it for work?
I have no knowledge other than what he says.
I guess let me back up. What work did he do that he would use the phone for?
He said that he would always, try to talk himself up, telling everybody how that he's this big IT guy, that he takes these lavish vacations down to Florida, that nobody can do his job, that he needs the phones for HIPAA reasons. And, I don't know, he always tries talking himself up to be more than what he really is.
Okay. So,
So everybody knows he has this other phone. He brags about himself and it and other things.
okay. Hold on one moment. Mr. Rodgers, I don't know if you've caught it. I have said at various times, Curtis, Wayne, Mr. Wainwright. Who are all of these disparate people?
It's all the same person, Curtis Wayne Wright. We normally call him Wayne, which is his middle name, but that is what he goes by, is Wayne, because his dad has the same name as him.
Okay. I think that'll do it for now. Thank you.
State.
So can we take a quick comfort break?
We're running out of time.
How long do you think your cross is gonna be?
I think I can be done in less than an hour.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Maybe I'll speak on sidebar for just a minute.
You guys speak sidebar?
I'm hungry.
Is he hiding them from rake straw?
Well, I think if you guys eat them all, then he won't be able to get me. Apparently, I finally found a snack that everyone really likes.
The schedule for next year.
Oh, the
That's what I
schedule.
have, the schedule for next year.
Oh, I
Hey, but we're still talking about the 5 weeks. Why would they put the 6 week out now already? This is no.
Yes, sir.
No, you're still gonna go to that meeting and you're gonna lobby for the 5 weeks again.
Oh, I'm doing my Don Quixote, like I always do. Tilt some windmills and have everyone. I'm not the only one, but State representatives here, all three defense counsel, Mr. Sievers, is your headphones working? Are your headphones working?
I believe so, sir.
Excellent. And we have Mr. Rodgers on the stand. State's ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, state.
Good afternoon, Jimmy Rodgers.
Good afternoon.
You told the court when we started that you know Hamid Hunter better than you know Mark Sievers, right?
Yes, sir.
You and I have never been to a wedding together.
We've attended numerous court hearings together.
That's not what I asked you.
No, sir.
You and I have never been to a wedding together.
No, sir.
You and I don't have any friends in common, right?
Other than my previous attorneys,
You and I don't have any friends in common, do we?
we do, my attorneys.
You and I don't have any friends in common, do we?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
It's not, actually, it's not answered.
I say that we do have friends in common, and those friends are my former attorneys.
You and I don't visit each other's homes.
No, sir.
You've never contracted to do painting at my home.
No, sir.
Mr. Rodgers, a lot of this regarding your testimony today started back on 12/19/2020, isn't that correct?
I don't know what you mean. I've been saying the same story to my attorney since 2016.
Actually, it's not the same, is it?
It is the same.
Back in 12/19/2020, you dispatched a letter to Bonnie Sievers. Do you remember that letter?
Yes, sir.
And in that letter, you wrote a whole bunch of stuff about the case, right?
Stuff referring to the discovery.
Yes?
To the discovery, yes.
And in fact, in that letter, you wrote, fact, Wayne told Robert Wyben late Friday night, and Wayne told Angela Wright and Taylor Shoemaker Saturday morning, where he was going as he was leaving, right?
It's in discovery. You're asking me about stuff I don't have
No,
direct
this
knowledge
letter's not in
to.
discovery, sir. This is your letter.
Yes, where I'm referencing things that are in discovery. I actually could cite some of those page numbers.
Okay. You wrote, Wayne, while in Florida, took pictures, sightseeing, bought souvenirs, collected seashells for people back in Missouri. Wayne did nothing to hide that he was in Florida. You wrote that too, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
You wrote, Wayne did not show back up to Mark and Teresa's house until someone was home to give him permission to stay there. You wrote that, didn't you?
If that is in the letter, then yes.
In the letter, you didn't mention that you were in Florida too, did you?
Without rereading the letter, then no. I cannot speak from my memory of a letter I wrote years ago.
You didn't even mention in the letter that you were with Wayne, did you?
To my knowledge, again, I can't recollect. If you would like to refresh my memory.
And you're saying you haven't read the letter in many years?
Yes, sir.
You read the letter in 2021, right?
I couldn't tell you the last time that I read the letter.
Okay. In fact, you signed an affidavit in 2021, isn't that correct?
Yes, Mark's lawyers came versus getting my statement, came and had me to sign an affidavit that I wrote that letter, sir.
And you wrote in the letter, or you signed an affidavit stating that the contents of the letter are true.
To the best of my knowledge, they are.
They're not true, they're half true, right?
I disagree with what you're saying.
Because you left out your involvement that you just told us about. You left that out of the letter, didn't you?
Again, I have not seen the letter in years unless you would like to recollect my memory.
In fact, Mr.
May we approach?
Sure.
Thank you.
And in fact, Mr. Rodgers, some of the details that you've written in a letter, in this letter, and then later in the 78 or 76 page testimony that you provided to Mr. Sievers' counsel, are also the subject of the 3850 you have pending in your own case, correct?
I do have a 3850 pending in my own case.
And in fact, you believe that these details that you provided, including the testimony you provided today, may also grant you relief in your 3850, isn't that correct?
That is absolutely false. I'm inside of my 3.850. I go after ineffective counsel, which has nothing to do with Sievers' counsel, as well as I go after Giglio's violations, the use of known false perjured testimony that's contrary to the facts that are in evidence, suborned by the state yourself. That is on the record. The record stated inside of my 3.850.
It's clear you have a problem with me, Mr. Rodgers. What I'm asking you is the details that you provided in this letter that you sent in here on 12/19/2020 to Mr. Sievers' mom, and the 78-page testimony that you provided to his counsel are details that you put in your 3850, right?
Some of them are.
Correct. That's a yes?
Not all of what's in there is inside of the 3.850. The 3.850, again, stipulates 5 different grounds. To
Right,
say
but
what
some of
you're
them
saying
have
is
to do with
actually
the evidence.
incorrect.
Okay. So that's a yes.
I just told you that you are incorrect. There's some stuff in the 76 pages that does correspond, means that it is related to the case. The case that I'm also appealing, yes, of course, the case, there's information of the case that's on a correlap and overlap each other, yes.
And you hope to win a new trial in your own case, right?
And my 3.850, yes, I do.
And in fact, Mr. Rodgers, on this very same facts, on this very same set of facts that Mr. Sievers was convicted of and sentenced to death, you were convicted of second-degree murder. Isn't that correct?
Unarmed second-degree murder, yes,
Yes,
sir.
that's a yes?
Yes, sir.
You were convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life because you are a prison releasee reoffender, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if you do get a new trial, you get a new trial for second-degree murder, correct?
Unarmed second-degree murder, yes, sir.
So, Mr. Wright was a close friend of yours,
He was?
like family,
No.
a confidant,
He was a good friend of mine.
a protector,
In county jail?
a counselor,
Absolutely not.
a counselee,
Don't know definition.
somebody that you provide counsel to or assistance,
That's what being a friend is.
somebody you trusted.
Yes.
You gave him keys to your house.
Yes, sir.
He can come into your house anytime he wants.
He could have.
He can sit down and eat breakfast with you and whoever is in the house with you. Right?
Yes.
And this friend, this protector, this counselor, this person with the keys to your house turned state's evidence against you. Right?
He did?
He betrayed you. Right? Is that a yes or a no?
I didn't realize that was a question. Yes.
I said he betrayed you, right?
Yes.
You don't have good feelings right now for Mr. Wright, isn't that correct?
I do not like him, no.
So, you agree, you heard the state's case during your own trial.
Yes.
You agree that you and Curtis Wright drove overnight to Florida,
Yes.
nonstop.
Yes.
You agree that you went to Walmart and bought miscellaneous things, including shoes, garbage bags, baby's wipes, lockpick kits, or whatever you want to call it, in Walmart, right?
There was absolutely no lockpick set. I was actually continuously trying to get to repeat that just like now. There is no lockpick set.
You agreed there were some tools bought in Walmart, right?
Yes, there was tools bought at Walmart that you couldn't pick a lock with if you ever even dreamt or attempted to. They're way bigger than the lock.
We agreed that they were tools bought.
Yes, there was tools bought.
We'll say tools. We won't say lockpick kit, all right? You agree that you had your phone on all the way down to Florida and all the way back, right?
Yes, sir.
You agree that your phone was in use during the trip, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you heard the testimony about your phone during your trial, right?
Yes, sir.
And you also agree that Mr. Wright had a second flip phone of some kind, correct?
Yes, sir.
That he brought with him on the trip.
Yes, sir.
A phone that he wasn't really using to communicate with anybody with except for Mark Sievers, right?
I don't know who all he communicated with on that phone. He has that phone all the time with him.
He wasn't using it during that trip, though, was he?
Other than to play video games or whatever he's doing on it, I don't know.
You agree that after driving all night from Missouri to Florida, that you went to the Sievers house in Bonita Springs?
Yes,
right?
sir.
Just the two of you, right?
Yes, sir.
And you went inside the house. You agree with that?
Yes.
And you got inside the house because Mr. Wright had the keypad code for the door, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got inside the house because Mr. Wright had the alarm code.
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
And he used a keypad that you later wiped his fingerprints off of, right?
I wiped my fingerprints off of the garage door button inside the garage.
Okay. You agree that there was a hammer on a freezer inside the house,
Yes,
Right.
sir.
and you agree that that hammer was used to hit Teresa Sievers in the face and head, right?
Yes, sir.
You agree that you took blue suits with you to Florida from Missouri, right?
Yes, sir.
And those suits are they're heavy gauge material, right? That are Doe Run works with chemicals, right?
We recycle lead, so those particular ones are acid resistant versus the other ones that I have are fireproof. So one I wear inside of temperatures while around smelting pots when I'm rebricking kettles. And the other one is like the one that's in evidence right now is the one like that I wear whenever I'm working in the BSN, the BAT, which deals with battery acid whenever I'm pouring concrete and things of that nature over there.
They're heavy gauge blue suits.
I wear them in temperatures of 120 and 130 degrees.
Okay. The question I asked was, they're heavy gauge suits, right? They're thick materials.
No, they're not thick material.
Okay. And then prior to coming to Florida, you agree, sir, that Mr. Sievers and Mr. Wright had person-to-person contact at the wedding in the beginning of May in Missouri, right?
Yes, sir.
And even though you say you never saw them slip off together to have a discussion, you didn't keep eyes on both of them the entire time y'all were at that trailer, did you?
No, sir.
And you said Mr. Wright, during your trial, Mr. Wright said he went to get food, burgers, and stuff with Mr. Sievers, correct?
Restate the question.
And during your trial, when Mr. Wright testified, he said he went to the store to get the burgers and the meat for the wedding with Mr. Sievers.
I
Right.
believe that he did.
And that was when one of the times they had this discussion about the plan to kill Dr. Sievers, right?
That's one of 3 or 4 of his versions, I believe.
So you agree that Mr. Wright went to get burgers, but you disagree that he went with Mark Sievers.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
You agree, sir, that there in Missouri that weekend was you, Mark Sievers, Curtis Wright, Angela Wright, Taylor Showmaker, and others, correct?
On the weekend of the wedding?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
You agree, sir, that after Dr. Sievers died on her kitchen floor, that you and Mr. Wright left and went back to Missouri.
Yes, sir.
And just to be sure, and we'll get to that. So, when you said you knew me better than you knew Mark Sievers, you don't know anything about anybody I've had a relationship with, right?
You mean as in a romantic relationship?
Yes, any relationship.
Other than your friendship with my previous attorneys, I don't know. That's my point, is that I don't know Mark, just like I don't know you. That is my point.
Okay. But you knew, as you stated, that there was a relationship of some kind between Mark Sievers and Curtis Wright before you even met Mark Sievers, right?
Yes, sir.
You talked about a relationship going back to college, right?
Wayne told me whenever they were teenagers.
Oh, okay, teenagers, okay. And you knew this before the wedding.
Yes, sir.
You knew about Mark Sievers before the wedding.
Yes, sir.
So, even though you said earlier that you had 4 days off that weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
You got off on Friday, and you weren't scheduled to be back at work until the following Wednesday, right?
Tuesday. I got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off.
Okay.
I go back to work Wednesday.
Tuesday. I wasn't trying to trick you, that was my mistake.
Yes, sir.
But you had to call your boss and tell him you were leaving town because you might get called into work, right?
I just was nice enough to tell him that I was leaving. Not that I get called into work, I just generally volunteer for overtime. So whenever things pop up, I'm their go-to guy because I'm always liking to work more hours. I'm trying to keep my bills so low while working as many overtime hours as possible to save my money.
And you felt it necessary to call and let him know you were leaving because he might call you with work, right?
I didn't call him, I told him in person while I was at work. I was
Okay.
kind of excited to come down to Florida, thought that it'd be fun. July, all you see on TV is normally Miami Beach. I didn't realize it was going to be a bunch of older women. I thought it was going to be more like Miami Beach. Be a lot more fun.
Yeah, we can tell jokes after Mr. Sievers.
I wasn't
After
joking.
we're done talking about Mr. Sievers' death penalty case. What I'm trying to get at is you called your boss or spoke to your boss
In person.
and told him you were coming to Florida so he'd know where you were. Isn't
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Just in case he had some work for you to do, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you work for him, you get paid more than $100 to do a job, don't you?
I get paid $13 to $15 an hour while working for him. When I do cash jobs, I don't have to pay taxes. So I normally make cash jobs around $10 an hour. But if I do this painting, my figure is I'll do somewhere around 8 to 10 hours of work if I was to do this painting that Wayne's telling me. Equals about $10 an hour, plus I get a free vacation out of the deal. I'm supposed to stay at Mark's house, we're gonna go to the beach, supposed to have a good time, pays for my meals.
You were getting a vacation where you drive all night without any sleep, right?
I drive, but I can sleep in the daytime, so I'm driving at
You were getting a
night.
vacation where you drive all night without sleeping, correct?
Yes, and I also work at 4 a.m.
You were getting a vacation where when you get to Florida, you go to the beach without any sleep, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were getting a vacation where you don't have a place to take a shower or change your clothes, right?
No, because I was supposed to be showering and changing my clothes at Mark Sievers' house. And these hours that you keep referring to are normally my hours I work. As I stated earlier, that I go to work at 2 a.m. to arrive at 4 a.m. at my workplace.
That's right, staying at the house of the man that you don't know, right?
Just like all the other people who hire me to install flooring, windows, paint their houses, etc. This is what I do for a living.
They let you stay in their house overnight?
No,
Their families?
the people who hire me don't know me, was my point. I'm staying there with Curtis Wayne Wright, who comes down 4 or 5 times a year, a person who used to actually live with Mark Sievers for numerous years.
And while y'all were at the wedding, waiting on Mr. Sievers, you knew who he was when he arrived, correct?
Yes, because everybody started yelling his name. Everybody's been waiting on him.
You didn't have to say, who's that guy?
No, sir.
Why is he here? Right?
Not when everybody starts hollering his name and gets up to come over to greet him, shake his hand, give him a hug. No.